Can we?
I'll use that one.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
And
Good morning.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. The Employees Retirement System of the Government of the Virgin Islands regular meeting of the Board of Trustees for Thursday, September 24, 2020 to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Caldwell.
Present.
Trustee Barry.
Present.
Trustee Clendenin.
Good morning, present.
Trustee Cohen.
Present.
Trustee Liger.
Present.
Trustee Liger. Absent. Trustee McDonough. Absent. Chairman Calendar.
Present.
Trustee
It's a miss.
Smith.
I'm present. Present.
6 present, 2 absent.
Thank you. Secretary minutes, regular meeting, August 27, 2020.
Comments and suggestions, Secretaries.
Coming in, suggestion retirees, any present?
I don't know. Okay.
There hasn't been several months since you've been on Zoom. Okay. Need a motion for approval of the Secretary's minutes for August 27, 2020. Any correction, addition, deletions?
So moved.
Who's that, Bobby?
I have one slight correction that on page 10 there's an E in my last name. That shouldn't be there.
Barry.
Tend to be picky about that.
It's your name.
That's the only thing I have.
It's on page 11 too.
Oh, okay. Yes, it is.
So I would,
I make a motion to accept the minutes with the changes that was just mentioned.
and I'll second.
Trustee Caldwell.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Cohen.
Yes.
Trustee Liger, absent. Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Calendar,
President? Yes, yes, yes.
5 yes, 2 absent.
A few minutes have been approved. Communications and correspondence.
None.
I received a letter from, well, an email from a Mr. Shane Gaspard. I'll read it into the record. Dear Chairman Calendar, the St. Thomas St. John Chamber of Commerce has for some time, let me make sure I lost it. Has for some time wanted to reach out and connect with GERS. We are currently aware of the proposed Matching Fund Securitization Act legislation and wanted to invite you to a discussion with the Chamber Board, learn about your thinking and exchange ideas. I was elected president of the Chamber last week and John Woods president-elect. Our immediate past president, Sebastiano Paiwanski Castellanelli, was elected to a 2-year term on the Chamber Board. Both are copied here. Kind regards, Shane Gaspard, President, Chamber of Commerce, St. Thomas, St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands. And this was sent to me on September the 4th. On September 8th, I responded. Good day, Mr. Gaspard. Thank you for your email and your interest in the Government Employees Retirement System, GERS. I am presently off Ireland and I am scheduled to return to St. Thomas on September 18th. I will be happy to meet with your board and exchange ideas. Kindly let me know when you will be available to meet. Sincerely, Wilbur K. Calendar. I have not heard anything since then. That's the only correspondence I had. Sorry, keep losing my stuff.
Can I ask a question? Do we have an interest in reaching out to them? Could they be of any assistance to us?
Cannot hear you,
Yeah.
sir. You're muted.
You're mute, Mr.
Dr.
Calendar.
Calendar, you're muted.
So did you hear the letter that I read?
Yes, I heard it.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay. I did not want to refuse to meet with them, and might have appeared that I had no interest in the welfare of GERS, so I agreed to. I don't know what they could offer us. I would be willing to listen. Were you not copied on this also?
I didn't receive it.
I received.
Okay.
I did receive a call from Casinelli asking me about meeting, and I referred him to you. I told him that any such meeting has to come to the chair. I wouldn't meet outside of that. So
Okay.
he did reach out to me, and just let you know what he said to me. He told me that the chamber was concerned about the potential impact of an insolvency of GRS on the business community and the economy, and hence the interest of the chamber in finding some resolution. That's as far as he went, and he made an anecdotal comment that the chamber would be interested in supporting any efforts that are geared towards avoiding insolvency.
Okay.
He did that is around the time when the matching fund securitization transaction and proposal was hot and heavy, and I guess you guys recall that I did write something to that effect in the Daily News. And just so you also know that I did write a letter to the president of the legislature and to the governor in my personal capacity. I was very clear to indicate in any such communication that this is my personal view. I'm not representing the board. I'm not even speaking as a board member. But of course, I'm speaking as a retiree, which I can't avoid. So I don't want to avoid. So that I did send a letter to both. As I said, it was addressed to the president of the legislature, as at that time the transaction was already submitted, and I did copy the governor. actually receive a call from the governor about it. I spoke to him about it. So, as I say, I'm very clear in those communication to make it known that I'm no way speaking on behalf of the board. I think I have a little bit of background in that topic, so I'm presenting that. Plus, I have an interest as a retiree. I have a vested interest in that discussion. So, but that's the extent of my involvement or knowledge of what might have led to that call to you, Dr. Kennedy, or that letter.
Thank you for that.
Dr. Callender,
Yes, sir.
I don't know how you would want to meet with them. I guess it would have to be by Zoom. May I suggest maybe board retreat, carve out some time at a board retreat to entertain them?
Sure. So, it's a great idea.
I think maybe the first day while the actuaries are there, so they can listen. Maybe I can carve out some time for them to do a presentation, no more than 45 minutes, you really, So, I don't know, it's up to the board. If that's what they want, let me know and we can carve out some time.
Well, we can let you know. Anyone has any objection to that?
I don't. I think we ought to reach out. Even obviously they have a self-interest, but as long as their interests coincide with ours, I guess shouldn't be no reason why we don't want to engage. So that be my contribution to this discussion. And specific to your question about,
Also, I would say it's
excuse me.
also there's the new group. Obviously, a board member is almost all new, and for us to meet them, hear suggestions, any ideas, and basically give them a little feedback from where we're coming from. So it's all good.
I think maybe we can entertain them the first day and let them listen to the investment report and let them listen to the actuary, and they'll get a lot of information from there.
So,
Because that's public
Trustee
knowledge.
Howard?
Fine. Sounds good. That way they can get answers if they have any additional questions.
Trustee Clendenning, any comment?
I am sorry, I was multitasking. Could you repeat for me? I apologize.
No, we talk about inviting the chamber board to our retreat. Any objections to that? Any comments?
I don't. I usually don't get a vote on these things, but thank you for asking. No, I don't.
That's okay. No,
I don't have an objection to that at all. Thank you for asking, actually.
we're not voting, we just get an opinion.
I know, but even I'm so grateful to give an opinion on that. So I'm saying thank you. No, I don't have an objection to that.
And just so you know, Ms. Clendenin, that this is pursuant to a request from the chamber itself asking for some interaction with us.
Yes, I heard that. As well, I
Okay.
did hear you speak about your background and the conversation with the governor as well. Yes.
Okay, all right.
All right. Where's Trustee Smith? Trustee Smith, any comment? You okay with
No,
that?
I welcome. I welcome that.
Okay.
I don't have any problem with that.
All right, okay, Administrator Nip, you got it?
Yeah, but you will have to communicate with them. I'll give you the information on when the Zoom information, they'll have to zoom in. I guess
Okay,
Ms.
yeah.
Poli's listening also, so she can remind me. Okay?
All right. Okay, I'll be happy to do that. All right. Next is the
First,
chairperson's report. I have no report. The administrator's report.
okay, good morning. Should be brief. My meetings and presentations. On September 2nd, I met with Senator Fred Gregory in regards to some issues that she have, and getting some information, looking forward to legislation. Also, we had a meeting with WAPA representatives regarding the water distribution project at Havenside Mall. We discussed that further, I think, in executive session. We have some new information that we want to share with the board. On September 4th, I attended a joint oversight committee and Havenside Mall management meeting. September 10th, I met with Department of Tourism regarding the MOU, use of the Welcome Center at Havenside Mall. September 11th, I met with Dr. Davies in regards to GRS Leadership Development Initiative. On September 14th, I attended a GRS versus Wilson appeal hearing. September 16th, I attended a Havenside Mall transition meeting with Mr. R.P. and Wyckoff. On September 17th, I attended the Carambola Northwest LLC board meeting. This was something that we will discuss also in regular session today. September 18th, I attended a senior management meeting. We had discussions on topics for upcoming board retreat. Also attended a joint meeting with U.S. Customs and WICO regarding the use of GRS property. On September 21st, I met with the budget committee, GRS budget committee, regarding the FY 2021 budget. And yesterday, September 23rd, I appeared on Redfield Talk Show with from 11 to 12 with Kathy Smith and the actuaries Alwyn Frias and Rocky Joyner. Very good discussion.
Could I ask if you let us know when you're doing those so I could listen in?
Yeah, usually we would send it out, but I don't know how we didn't this time.
Okay,
Because it was a, yeah. Applications are still in the inventories, 100. As you can see, the majority of the applications were sent in 2020, 69. And that includes the central government and also the semi-autonomous agencies. Refunds so far for the fiscal year to date, we have processed $6.8 million. 591 units were completed out of the 591. Regular, which are non-vested members of 402. And of the $6.8 million, $6.4 million is for the non-vested employees. We have 74 more cases, and 64 of those are regular, which is non-vested members. Death benefits, we have paid out 52 death benefits so far for the year, tune of $1.8 million. We have 82 to be completed. We have also made payments to heirs of deceased members. These are some old cases that were sitting for quite some time because of some issues with the software, and management made a decision to make manual payments so that we can pay the heirs of the deceased members. There's no update for the duty and non-duty disability. There's no update for Act 7261 or Act 7128. The number of retirees as of the September 14th payroll, 8,714 members. Total amount paid out to retirees so far year to date fiscal year through September 15th is $245,732,408.29. From October 2019 to September 15, 2020, we have added to the payroll 332 retirees, and in that same period we have deleted from the payroll 305 retirees. The gross payroll for pay date September 14 was $10.7 million. Our loan portfolio is being reduced significantly every month. We have 2,825 units as of August 31, and we have 91 mortgages also in the portfolio. The portfolio amount for August, as of August 2020, is $37.1 million left in the portfolio. As you know, the portfolio of the personal loan should end in sometime in 2024, 2025. And at that time, we would have only mortgages. Our operations in Sinquoi building, we have been doing a significant amount of repairs in the Sinquoi building. The security systems are up and running. The guard booth that we talked about was completed. Air conditioning unit and telephones were installed. The common areas, there's a proposal that was approved for Ambrosia Gardens. This is an annual project that is done by them every year. The executive buildings repairs were completed. However, with a recent rainfall, a leak that was apparently repaired on the roof started again. So there's warranty on the roof. So the company has been contacted and arrangements are being made to correct the problem. Maintenance. Just about all the major maintenance equipment are in working condition, so I'm not going to go over those. We are seeking proposal for replacement of glass doors between the lobby. This is in line with the active shooter situation. And we're also going to be looking at proposal to replace some damaged tiles in various sections of the building in Sinquoi. In St. Thomas office building, not that much issues. We know we completed the refurbishment of the outside of this building. We are presently putting in tiles in the floors in St. Thomas building. We have the lobby to complete. The roof project is coming along. It hasn't started as yet. Air conditioning project also has not started as yet, but those projects should be coming online for fiscal year 2021. As far as the rental and collections, it can also be seen in Exhibit A. We have, for the month of August, we collected $177,205.73, of which $145,825.56 was for rental. Total year to date, we collected a total of $1,344,083, of which $881,087.20 is for rental. There is a total of arrearages of $226,000, $152.15. You can look at that in Exhibit A. The majority of the arrearages is in electrical, is in Department of Justice, and for the rental arrearages, obviously Department of Justice also. Pleasant does have some arrearages. All of their rentals are in arrears. And also Rescare, which is a federal client, federal tenant. So it appears that Division of Personnel has paid off their deferral, which is good. They do have a $26,000 in electrical arrearage also. The human resources.
Could I just wanted to interject one point. I know in some cases when you're dealing with certain rental buildings, it's the responsibility of the owner of the building to bill bill the renter. And in other cases, I found where the meters were listed in the renter's name and they would pay and be responsible. Is there any chance that we could shift some of that where we have these people running up bills that aren't paying?
We have discussed this and we have looked at this. It's cost prohibitive. It's going to cost a lot to change over even the air conditioning unit and that's what we were told, and the electricity. And we looked at doing it for the air conditioning unit separate. We also look at doing it with WAPA.
I don't think he understands there's one meter and not separate meters.
Well, what he's saying, maybe we should have separate meters.
Okay, I just want to make sure he
Yeah,
understands.
he was saying separate meters, and we had looked into it, and to me it was cost prohibitive at the time. What we're doing is we're billing them based on square footage. There was some contention with some tenants that, it was fluctuating too much, and they were concerned about using square footage, but that's the best way right now without a separate meter.
Okay, thank you.
When you say cost prohibitive, what does that mean in terms of numbers?
Well, I can't remember, sir. This is when I came here about 10 years ago. We can look into it again, but it was numbers. I guess we would have had to bear the cost of doing that.
I understand that. But what I'm trying to get to, that whether or not it's cost prohibitive will have to be a decision in the context of the arrearages, right?
Well, the arrearages is based on the general fund.
I'm not sure.
Well, I would think. Well, okay.
What I'm saying is that something that appeared initially to be cost prohibitive may not be if it would eliminate the arrearages in electricity.
Well, how many top?
Let's just get another quote.
I don't know.
We don't have a quote.
No, just some idea. You don't have to go for another quote.
No. What I'm saying, Division of Personnel and Division of Justice goes before the legislature. They come up with a budget. They should know how much they're going to pay based on square footage. Every year they can determine an estimate. It appears to me that either they're not getting their full allotments, so I blame it on the general fund. They can pay,
Mr.
but...
Nims, if I may interrupt for a moment, you're very correct, because in the sense of, although we may have it budgeted, the government has a single payer system they use. So we still have to go, even though it may be budgeted to us, we still have to go to finance to say, release some monies to pay GRS, to pay WAPA. So it's not like we have control with our, like with the rent. With the rent, we are more in control of that. So we could pay that once we have the allotment. It's a little different with WAPA. So we may always be a little behind because of the single payer utility thing the government is doing with all entities.
I mean, I fully appreciate all that. I mean, I'm fully aware of the single payer setup. My point is that in the meantime, GRS is paying WAPA, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So if that bill comes off of us, depending on what the number is, it may be worth it to reconsider the separate meter thing. I don't know.
Well, we go back if the board. I mean, I don't mind going back and having WAPA comes in. We'll have to. Maybe it's a good time to look at it now, since we're going to be putting new air condition. I think maybe it should be separate too. I think, we have discussed this many times in this board. So I'll go back and look at it. There's no harm in going back and looking at it. Maybe it might be beneficial at this time.
I was kind of surprised to see the arrearages for Pleasant. My recollection is usually they're up to date. Is there something
Yes.
afoot?
Sometimes they fall behind. They just opened a new center in Sunny Isles. I know that a few years ago they wanted to rent the entire top of where GRS is housed right now. But Ms. Glendinen, Asia. Ms. Glendinen, Gums? No. I just wanted to know if anything came in after this report. Anything came in for Pleasant subsequent to the report yesterday?
I got a check from the Virgin Islands Casino Control Commission. I didn't get anything from anyone else.
From Pleasant. Okay. We haven't received anything since the report was done.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Only Virgin Islands Casino Control Commission and First Bank, but not Pleasant.
And rescue. And we just have one yesterday from personnel.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Human Resources have enrolled, which I think is a good idea, in online learning center. As I think it's about $159 annually per employee to take courses online. I think this is something that is good in these times. It's cheaper than, traveling to the States with the hotel and the airfare and all that. When I looked at it, I think it came out very in a positive light for us. So that is something that this Glendinning has implemented. FEMA, as far as FEMA, as we continue to work with FEMA and VITEMA on a regular basis. Meetings are held monthly to discuss the project and respond for information. Just yesterday, FEMA responded for a whole lot of legal and insurance information. I don't know, Attorney Smith, you saw that?
Yeah, I don't have access to my computer yet until today.
We have passed our audit from the Office of Disaster Recovery. Ms. Arcelin, I think her name is Williams. And we're working with FEMA on the drawdowns for the Haven site cameras in the amount of $419,995.04. We replaced all the cameras after the hurricane. GRS paid out the pocket and we're going to get reimbursed. And $137,714 for the GRS main building hurricane repairs. We receive a check in the amount of $15,000 for category B hurricane repairs and category B repairs at Haven site Mall, some small repairs. It's in quite complex, sent to FEMA CRC to review and clarify. Meeting was held to go through questions on measurement, invoices, and payments. Additional information.
What's CRC?
It's their costing. FEMA has a costing for restoration bureau. That's their center that does the costing of all the repairs.
Okay. Okay.
Additional information and pictures were requested FEMA Haven site for Haven site Mall and warehouses. Procurement documentation was requested, as I indicated, and the legal is looking into that. I don't know if the board had opportunity. I sent a copy of our draft for the board retreat. If you have any suggestions or you want to insert anything, let me know. We would be, based on the conversation this morning, we would be inviting Chamber of Commerce the first day for the investment Nikita presentation, and also Siegel's presentation. I think they'll get a good feel as to the reasons why the system is in such a bad shape, and they can ask their questions at that time. On that same day, I think I would like to also have the the retiree groups for like an hour. Invite them. I haven't done it so as yet, just for us to share information of what they're doing. And so if you have any questions on the topics, or you want to add anything else, please let us know by at least October, what is the 20th, by October 14th or so. Let us know if you have any changes so we can make those changes. Okay?
I'd like to suggest that we require the chamber to pre-submit the presentations just so we could focus our attention as to how best to use that time that we have with them. They give us some idea of what they want to know about, what they're interested in doing, that kind of stuff. So we could tailor our preparation for them accordingly.
Okay, so I'll write something up for Chairman Callan, letting him know the time and so on, and then he can write to them and can get that information from them.
Also, Mr. Nibbs, I was hoping that both the investment properties and Haven site would be discussed at length.
When you say investment properties, what do you mean, the rentals?
Well, that could be part of it, but mainly the properties that we just had assessed, the undeveloped Coakley Bay and St. Thomas.
Yeah, well, what we're trying to do, the end result is coming up with an insolvency contingency plan. And part of the discussion in the board retreat is looking at all our assets. We're looking at all our human resources and anything that would have to be reduced to an acceptable level. And obviously selling properties, I think that would be part of it also. I think I discussed something in the budget committee. I don't want to say here out publicly, but we have some drastic measures that we have to look at. Everything has to be on the table then. Everything has to be on the table. Okay? So I think we're going to discuss all of that. We're going to be writing up our recommendations. The staff is going to be presenting to the board, coming up with our recommendations, and then the board would have to make, obviously some type of plan has to be in place of going forward in 2021, 2022, 2023, just like the dynamic asset allocation, what we should maybe get rid of based on the budget reductions at that time. Our largest budget cost is wages and fringe. It's about close to $8 million. So we have ideas of what we think may have to be done. But we would make those recommendations and put them on the table. Like I said, everything is on the table and the board will have to make the decision. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
That's my presentation. Let me call the Festina.
Trustee, any additional comments or questions for the administrator? Okay, there were none. We'll proceed to the committee reports. Any committee reports?
There's a budget committee report, Mr. Chair.
All right. You may proceed.
So the budget committee convened on September 21st, 9 a.m. via Zoom. Committee members attending were Bowery Chair, Calendar, and Caldwell. Staff attending CEO Nibbs, therefore Jeremiah. Matters discussed: 1, FY 2019 financial audit, the status. 2, GRS Board 2020 retreat, status of planning. And 3, the main focus of the meeting was review of the FY 2021 budget. As far as the financial audit is concerned, the CEO reported that the audit is progressing towards a 9/30/20 date for a draft to be submitted to the actuaries. Target date for the final draft report is to be presented to the board at its October retreat. As far as the board retreat is concerned, the CEO confirmed that the dates have been set for October 20th through the 21st to the 22nd of 2020. And he promised to update the board on the planning for that. As far as the 2021 budget is concerned, the CEO and CFO presented highlights and details of the FY 2021 budget as follows. Total expenditure budget of 16.6 million, which is a 14.5% less than the 2020 budget. The reduction reflects the system's focus on reducing expenditures, recognizing our current COVID impact realities. Reductions were basically across the board. The Board of Trustees budget was reduced by 29%, administration by 2%, facilities and management reduced by 34%. Reductions were also across the expenditure line items. Personal services were pretty much held in check in spite of fringe benefit increases due to an increase in health insurance. Service and charges were reduced by $470,000, 9%. Biggest decrease was in capital outlay, which was reduced by 2.3 million, almost half of the current budget. The 16.6 million for proposed expenditures comprised 46% of that, 7.7 million was for personal services, including fringe. 29% was for services and charges, 4.8 million. 1.7 for utilities and supplies, and 2.2 for capital expenditures. The personal services budget provides approximately 254,000 for contracted compensation increases for unionized and exempt employees. The committee took note and advised the staff that the budget would likely be revised to reflect any strategic decisions made at the October retreat. However, the committee felt it was important that the system be managed pursuant to a board-approved budget. Accordingly, after being satisfied by the staff's explanation and responses, the Budget Committee recommends that the board approve the FY 2021 budget in an amount of $16,595,388 for the purposes indicated in Budget Exhibit B, which is incorporated by reference. That number comprised $14,193,138 for operations, which includes $5,391,812 for personal services, 2.3 million for fringe benefits, 790,000 for services and charges, and $4.8 million. Sorry, 790,000 for supplies, $4.8 million for service and charges, and 907 for utilities. Total capital budget of $2,402,250 was also approved. The committee questioned the proposed revenue and income budget of $3,688,167, comprising rental of $1,346,000, parking fees of a little over $9,000, and interest of 2.3 million. In particular, the committee noted that the budgeted rental amount was 41% higher than the actual amount for 2019, and almost 2.5 times the projected 2020 estimate. The committee requested staff to revisit that and to resubmit you promised a more definitive update on the retreat plans in the September board meeting. The Budget Committee would like to recognize and thank the CEO Nibs and CFO Jeremiah for their comprehensive preparation and representation of the FY 2021 budget. That's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Trustees, any questions, any comments? All right. The Medical Review Committee met on several occasions, and those results will be discussed in executive session.
Policy Committee has no report today.
Excuse me?
Policy Committee has no report.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. All right, can we go to the Treasurer's report?
Good morning, Board Chair, other trustees. This is the Government Employees Retirement System Schedule of Receipts and Disbursements for the month ending August 31st, 2020. Receipts from collections, loan repayment, 1,614,517. Year to date, 17,737,112. Rent from tenants / utilities, 156,899. Year to date, 1,270,000. Rents from Havenside tenants, 95,756. Year to date, 3,464,251. Employer retirement contributions, 8,508,804. Year to date, 89,025,108. Employee retirement contributions, 4,596,398. Year to date, 47,544,224. Parking facility, 130. Year to date, 6,750. Miscellaneous, 129,363. Year to date, 11,866,523. Excuse me. Total collection, 15,101,867. Year to date, 170,913,968. Disbursements, annuity payments, 22,264,558. Year to date, 241,499,320. Administrative expenses, 2,428,780. Year to date, 16,748,353. Personal loans, 12,887. Year to date, 223,951. Mortgage loans, 31,059. Year to date, 216,914. There is nothing for retiree and auto loans. Year to date, retiree loans, 23,275. Year-to-date auto loans, $12. Land loans, 1,026. Year-to-date, 1,026. Refund of contributions, 514,324. Year-to-date, 7,820,601. Allotments to WICO / management fees, 269,102. Year-to-date, 1,648,028. Total disbursement, 25,521,736. Year-to-date, 268,181,480, for a net cash deficit of 10,419,807. Year-to-date net cash deficit, 97,267,512. That's the end of the reading for the schedule of receipts and disbursements.
Thank you, Ms. Jeremiah. Trustees, any question?
No question, just my normal concern. Just got to verbalize it. So we paid out $9,160,000 more than we took in. We paid in annuities versus contributions. That means another drawdown is near.
Yes, it was done for the 30th payroll.
Thank you.
Is that a drawdown against cash, or did we have to liquidate any investment?
Cash.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee, need a motion for approval?
Mr. Chair, I move to accept.
Okay, I'll second it.
Trustee Colwood,
Yes.
Trustee Barry,
Yes,
Trustee Cohen,
Yes,
Trustee Liger, absent. Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Calendar,
Yes.
Chair 5 yes, 2 absent.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I've asked Mikita I invited Mikita to present the investment report for today. I'm seeing Gustavo on the screen. So there he is.
Not a problem. Always happy to see Gustavo.
All right. Good morning,
Morning,
everyone, and
How are you?
I'm glad to see everyone virtually in this new normal. I'm here to discuss with you the results, performance results for the month of August. I believe that you all have the presentation that we sent to Mr. Neves a few days back. That being the case, I will ask you if you can please jump into page 9 out of 17 of that presentation. This is the total assets of the fund without the local assets. So these are the, again, just repeating myself for 100 times. These are the assets that are under the scope of services of Mikita, which excludes the local assets. The total assets are, as of August 31st, at 479,251,851. The asset allocation breakdown, we are at around 12% in equities, 74% in fixed income, 2% that remains in alternative investments or private equity that is measurable, and we have around 11% of cash. And you were asking Mr. Boney about the the contributions, not the contributions, but the cash outflow that just happened, and we tend to plan for having around an amount of $100 million in cash for the fiscal year. We are closing the fiscal year, and the cash is at $54 million. So that prevents us for having to liquidate any assets that might be in a moment of distress. So the reason why the $100 million, to refresh the mind of everyone, it comes from our dynamic asset allocation. That is around the amount of cash that we will need for a current 1 year period. So it's now at 54. We are at September, what is today, 24th, sorry. And we will be redoing our dynamic allocation as of when month ends at September 30th, when fiscal year ends. So we will be then reallocating and making the necessary changes and recommendations in the asset allocation to move towards the dynamic asset allocation. And one of the actions will be to add into whatever is left in the cash account to keep that $100 balance, $100 million balance. So that's in terms of asset allocation. I will ask you if you can please move to page 11 of that presentation. Page 11 is the performance. Quarter to date this is August 31st, so this does not have the performance of these days in September. But as of August 31st for the quarter, the system was up 2.3%. For the year to date, or 2020 calendar year, 5.5%. And for the fiscal year, which is what we really care about, at that point at 7.5%, which you know, it's pretty much in line with the actuarial assumptions. So that is good news. It's still in a very good shape. We have a couple of more days in the month of September to see what actually the end result. We've seen the equities market really taking a hit during the month of September. As of yesterday, they were down. The U.S. equities markets were down 7.3% around, but the fixed income markets were a little bit on the positive side. So I'm guessing that if there has been any movements in the system, it has been no more than a minus 50 basis points. It should be around 7.3 or 7.1%. The results during the month of September as of yesterday. We have a couple of more days to go in the month of September, so we keep our fingers crossed that we will have some positive momentum and could finish in around our actuarial assumption of around 7%. Page 12, it actually shows the detail of what we have invested in. Just to remind everyone, we have pretty much at this point, except for Pew, which is fixed income manager on the active side. Everything else is invested in index. Pew and the remaining of the messy row private equity allocations that we have in the fund. That's pretty much it, what we have prepared for in terms of performance. Volatility came back in the month of September, combination of new cases, combination of getting closer to elections. Around the world, the cases are spiking up, and in Europe after summer vacation, we see some spike in the US as well, with kids coming back to college and schools. So all that is adding to the volatility in the markets. Thankfully, for our system, we are allocated more than around between cash and fixed income, more than 80% in fixed income assets. So the domestic equities volatility is not affecting much the movement of the fund, which is the whole purpose of why we're invested this way. So again, we're a few days from closing our fiscal year. Keeping finger crossed but it looks very promising that even though this whole roller coaster of markets will be in positive territory, and more so that we are actually at actuarial projected rate of return, which is very good news. I mean, the system continues to be in the top quartile compared to other plans. There's no much difference to what we showed with you last meeting, because that is measured quarterly. We are not at the end of the quarter, so we don't have new results. But from what we see from other clients of ours, the system is still performing very well compared to the universe. So with that, I'll open if there are any questions, Mr. Chair.
Trustees, any question? Thank you, Gustavo. Any question?
Yes, I had a question. Are you going to send us an updated, that little chart you usually send on the performance?
It's a chart you refer to, the chart that it shows the system compared to peers?
Yes, yes.
That is not updated yet. That is as of, so it's exactly the same that you have before. It's going to be, the new one, it's coming after September 30th. So as soon as we have that, we will definitely update.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Anyone else? If not, as usual, thank you, Gustavo.
All right. So,
ask a question, Gustavo. And you may or may not want to have this discussion now. We could probably have it later on or whatever. But what is the market like for pension obligation bonds? Briefly.
I cannot give you an intelligent answer to that. It's not something that we are monitoring daily. I will be happy to ask around to my colleagues within Makita on our next consultant meeting on Monday to see, or in fact I will send an email right away to see what they're, but I cannot give you an intelligent answer.
I appreciate that. Anything you could find out.
Absolutely. We'll be happy to.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you again.
All right. Thank you so much. Great seeing you all.
Yes, sir.
Bye, Gustavo.
Yes, sir. We'll go to regular session. New business. Trustee Bovey, you want to address that?
Address what?
Well, yeah, item number 1, to approve the carryover of the fiscal year 2020 budget for further discussion.
Okay,
That has to change.
Right, right.
I'm just looking for my agenda here. Sorry. Okay, so where are we now? On approving the budget. Okay, I think as I reported in my earlier report that we made a decision, the committee made a decision not to do the carryover budget for the reasons I explained in my report, and instead to recommend approval of the budget as submitted by management. And so I guess in terms of a motion, is that in order now?
Yes.
Okay. So I move that the board approve the FY 2021 budget, total amount of 16,595,388 for the purposes indicated in Budget Exhibit B, which is incorporated by reference in this motion. That total number comprised an operating budget of 14,193,138, and that's further broken down into personal services of 5,391,812, fringe benefits 2,324,391, supplies 790,336, services and charges 4,779,397, and utilities 907,202, and for a capital budget totaling 2,402,250. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I'll second this.
And just for discussion, it's exactly the same as the numbers as submitted by the board, by the staff, specifically Exhibit B, page 2 of 4.
Trustee Colwood,
Yes.
Trustee Gorry,
Yes.
Trustee Cohen,
Yes.
Trustee Liger, absent. Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Callender,
Yes.
5 yes, 2 absent.
Thank you. The 2021 fiscal year 2020 budget has been approved as presented by the administration. Item number 2, approve the salary increases for fiscal year 2021. Who's going to weigh in on that?
I think as part of the budget process, we recognize an amount included in the budget of, I think, 254,000. That was to cover contracted salary increases. I think that included, first searching for my notes, give me a minute here. I think I made reference to it. Yeah, so it says 254,000 included for compensation increases for unionized and exempt employees, contracted compensation increases. I think the committee specifically authorized it. Plan recommends that.
Any other comment on that, Mr. Nate or Ms. Glendinning?
Ms. Glendinning, Gomes, would you just expound on that, please?
Okay. Submitted in the budget was the salary increases that were negotiated and approved by a resolution for the UIW SIU, and those are supervisors union, and our steel workers union. The resolution stated that we would use the premise across the board for all classifications in the agency, and that has been reflected in the amount stated by Trustee Bori and represented in the budget, effective October 1.
Okay.
So thank you.
All right.
I just
no more discussion, then I need a motion to approve. Yeah. Mr. Bori, you have a comment?
I was just going to add that the committee took note of those increases were contracted and already negotiated. We recognize that we are cutting back on the number of employees, and it's asking those who remain to work a little harder. and under some very trying circumstances. I think we need to be in a posture of trying to save our employees, and given the much rumored pending insolvency. I don't think anybody's going to be rushing to join our staff. So try to keep the employees that we have. That was the underlying rationale for the board, for the committee's approval.
All right. And we have motion for approval?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
in light of my understanding that these increases are part of the budget that was just approved, I don't believe you need a separate motion for that.
Okay. All right.
Okay, makes
Thank you,
sense.
sir. Okay. Item number 3, to approve the decision of the Carambola Northwest LLC Board to proceed with the dissolution of Carambola Northwest LLC. Nibs, you want to comment on that?
Trustees, the Carambola Northwest Board met on Thursday, September 17th. Attending the meeting were all Earl Powell, Leona Smith, who is the vice chair, Austin Nibs, who is the secretary, and Wilbur Callender, the chair. Also in attendance were Kathy Smith, the general counsel, GRS, Denise Jeremiah, CFO for GRS, Tom Bolt, corporate counsel, and his associates Steve Hardy and Adam Nadali, Deepak Bansal, the outside consultant, auditor, and Pedro Williams was there also.
And it's Adam Marinelli.
Adam Marinelli. The agenda was very lengthy because we hadn't met since June after the prior to the sale of the asset, and we approved the board transcripts of June 19, 2019. There were no correspondences and communication. There was no chairman report. In regular session, we updated the overall activity from July 5th, 2019 to present. That's subsequent to the closing of the mortgage. I mean, not the mortgage, but the closing of the deal. There was a financial report by Ms. Jeremiah as to what has been paid out, what monies we have left in the bank. And also Mr. Banzal gave a report of all the tax filings that were done. We do have a good standing up through June 30th, 2021. All our 20 years tax files tax filings were done. Our gross receipts, all of that stuff were done going back from 2017 all the way up. In executive session, we dealt with legal matters. There are only 2 claims left open, 2 outstanding litigation. There's also a holdback in the transaction, in the closing that is due to us, about $250,000. And legal counsel is going to pursue that. It should be in escrow. It is in escrow. It was for seller's indemnity deposit. And what we're here for, because the Carambola board voted for dissolution of the company or the LLC, meaning that we're winding up. We have some accounts payables to look at. Some are in dispute right now. We are currently researching those. That's about $127,000. However, we're winding down. So since usually the process is, if Carambola board makes a decision, they would come to the GRS board, present, and GRS board will vote it up or down. So today we're here to approve the decision of the Carambola Northwest LLC board to proceed with the dissolution of the LLC. That is what is on the agenda. For the GRS board, which represents GRS, which is the sole owner, sole shareholder of the LLC. So we're here to get your approval of the decision that was made by the Carambola Northwest board to begin with the dissolution or the winding up of the LLC.
Mr. Nips, during when you started the discussion, you called the name of the persons present. I might have missed Attorney Williams' name. Did you call his name?
Yes, I did.
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, trustees. Any questions? Is it clear?
I'd like somebody to give me just a brief summary of what you're asking us to approve. I mean, I understand it's a decision by the Carambola board, but could you just summarize the rationale for the dissolution, why we should do it? I mean,
There's no assets.
Well, there are no assets left. We sold the property to, what's the name of that company?
I don't remember the name.
Well, we sold the Davis Bay LLC.
It was the only asset of the company.
So the only asset of the company was the building, the business. So there has to be a dissolution. Like I said, we've been winding up. We've been paying some bills that were incurred prior to. There was a true up. The last true up shows that there are still outstanding bills prior to the closing that was presented to us by the Davis Bay. Some of those may be in a little contention. We have to go back and work with them to get some more clarity. The only assets I think we have is the cash. We have some cash in the bank, about a little over, it's about $300 and some thousand. Plus we'll get the 250,000 from the escrow. And those monies would be to pay back because, you know, GRS had loaned, not GRL, the owner, yes, had some bridge loans and things like that were made a lot of the times during the off period when they were not meeting their expenses the way they should, especially in the summertime. So that will be used and will be returned to GRS to pay down on those loans. So like I said, the process has been that any decision that is made in the Carambola board is brought to the owner, which is GRS board, to like ratify the decision. Yes, in the interest of GRS. That has been the process. I don't know if Pedro, I mean, you know, whoever wants to win, that's the process.
yeah, I wasn't questioning the process. I was just trying to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that GRS board don't want us to to wind up, but we're saying this. We don't have any more assets. The only asset we have right now is cash. The building is gone, which was material.
But if you continue to keep the LLC alive, you will have to file your reports with the Lieutenant Governor's office. You will have to continue to have board meetings. And there's no point to it if the entity has no assets.
So we're just winding up.
No liability.
So then we will come back, and after that is done, we will terminate now. We winding up and the solution, then we'll terminate. And then we'll come back again and you'll have to bless the termination.
You wind up today and you wind down later.
Well, when I say winding up means, yeah, you wind up today, wind down later, termination. if we want to put it that
Is
way.
there, excuse me, is there any lingering litigation that hasn't been dealt with and shut down?
Only two, there are two. I think one of them we had,
There, where those things are there are two. One is a debt that is owed to Carambola Northwest that's being pursued, and those are winding down. So that's part of the wind-up
All right,
process.
thank you.
another one we made an offer, right? Something
Mr.
like
Nibs, you're not in executive session.
not in executive session.
Yeah, those will be concluded before the wind-up. That's part of the wind-up process, any outstanding matters.
All right, any additional questions?
No, no. Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion to approve the decision of the Carambola NWLLC Board to proceed with the dissolution of Carambola NWLLC.
I'll second that.
Trustee Colwood,
Yes.
Trustee Barry,
Yes.
Trustee Cohen,
Yes.
Trustee Liger, absent. Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Calendar,
Yes.
5 yes, 2 absent.
Thank you. Okay, this portion of the meeting will be closed to the public for matters pertaining to trade secrets or financial or commercial information or personal or legal matters or matters whose premature disclosure may frustrate the implementation of the proposed agency action. So I need a motion to go into an executive session.
Mr. Chair, I move that we go into executive session.
I second it.
Trustee Colwood,
Yes.
Trustee Barry,
Yes.
Trustee Cohen,
Yes.
Trustee Liger, absent. Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Calendar,
Yes.
5 yes, 2 absent.
Thank you. Because we'll be discussing these these committee recommendations, we're going to ask that only the trustees remain.
Yeah, what he said, we got only trustees remain.
5-minute break.
Trustees, yeah, 5-minute break. Yes.
Pedro,
Yeah,
Pedro, can you call me on my cell when you're ready for us to come back?
Dr. Calendar, the room
Okay.
cleared.
Okay. On the break.
So do we need a 5-minute break?
I don't think so. Are we still recording? We recording this session, right? Is Ms. Coley still on?
It's still being recorded.
Oh, okay. Okay, very good.
It has to be recorded because Desiree not here.
Yeah, that's why I said very good. I didn't, because I know everybody stepped out. I was wondering if it was still recorded.
We're still on YouTube Live. That's what I meant.
Oh no, we gotta come
No,
off.
we gotta get off.
So that's what I was okay.
So once we go in executive session, we're no longer on YouTube.